which promised the establishment of a Jewish nation in Palestine.
Han Meditation.
Hello guys, I am Han, this is Kelly.
Hi everyone.
We are Han Meditations. We're back with another interesting video. Now, if you see us on our phones, we're taking notes. And, this is going to be an interesting subject because we like to learn about the history of Islam, the history of the world, and really learn why certain things happen a certain way and just basically inform ourselves because that's what we're all here to do. So we're supposed to be here to inform and learn and grow. And a lot of people get caught up and think that they shouldn't learn when they become an adult. That's absolutely not true. You should be learning more and more the more you can. So find somewhere comfortable to sit and watch, and let's get right into it.
Who was Lawrence of Arabia? Most people just think of Lawrence of Arabia as an Oscar-winning film from the 1960s. However, Lawrence was a real person who helped the British in dividing the Ummah so that the British and French could control the Middle East. Thomas Edward Lawrence, born on the 16th of August, 1888, was a British Army officer, archaeologist, diplomat, and writer best known for his role during the Arab Revolt and Sinai and Palestine campaign against the Ottoman Empire in the First World War. During World War I, the Sharif of Mecca, Hussein bin Ali, and the British High Commissioner to Egypt, Sir Henry McMahon, were in communication with each other from 1915 to 1916, in which the British promised the Sharif an independent Arab state after the war, in exchange for launching an Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire. The Sharif was convinced by the British, and so the Sharif's sons, Ali and Faisal, attacked the holy city of Medina in an attempt to take it from the Ottomans. After 3 days of attacks, they were unable to defeat the Ottomans, so they retreated. However, they had more success in besieging the holy city of Mecca and the town of Taif. While this was going on, the British were bombing the Ottoman forts across the port cities of the Red Sea. It was at this time that the British then sent Lawrence to liaise with the Arab leadership, as he was fluent in Arabic, which he had learnt in Lebanon, and he also had vast knowledge about the Arab regions, having worked on excavations on behalf of the British Museum. Lawrence was an advisor to the Sharif's son Faisal. Although they had some success over the Ottomans, Lawrence was not impressed by Faisal's forces, as he said,
"One company of Turks firmly entrenched in open country could have defied the entire army of them, and a pitched defeat would have ended the war by sheer horror."
The Arab revolt simply didn't have enough fighters to take on the Ottomans. This was probably due to the fact that the majority of Arabs didn't support the Arab revolt. All across the Middle East, the majority were loyal to the Ottoman Empire and were against the idea of Arab nationalism. To put this into context, 500,000 British troops were fighting the Ottomans, while the number of Arabs fighting were only around 3,500. Lawrence then realized that with such low numbers, the best thing they could do is attack the Hejaz Railway to cut the Ottomans' supply line into Arabia. Small groups would blow up sections of the track, bridges, and water towers. They would also attack some stations that were weakly defended. The British were keen for the Ottomans to be preoccupied by the Arab revolt so that the British can invade Palestine. While the British promised the Sharif an Arab state, they were also negotiating with the French in the Sykes-Picot Agreement, on which territories will be controlled by them after the war. The British also published the Balfour Declaration, which promised the establishment of a Jewish nation in Palestine. Despite the Arabs having disagreements with the British over these agreements, they continued to attack the Hejaz Railway and help the British. The Arabs were hoping that the reality on the ground will be different than that of any paper agreement. The British troops then swiftly advanced through Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. The Ottoman Empire then agreed to an armistice. The Arab leaders were now in negotiations with the British over the future of the region. These negotiations were, however, unsuccessful. Instead of the Middle East becoming an Arab state as promised, it was partitioned into sections and zones controlled by Britain and France. Later, Lawrence of Arabia revealed the truth about the so-called Arab Revolt.
The cabinet raised the Arabs to fight for us by definite promises of self-government afterwards. So I had to join the conspiracy, and for what my word was worth, assured the men of their reward. In our 2 years' partnership under fire, they grew accustomed to believing me and to think my government, like myself, was sincere. Instead of being proud of what we did together, I was continually and bitterly ashamed. It was evident from the beginning that if we won the war, these promises would be dead paper. And had I been an honest advisor to the Arabs, I would have advised them to go home and not risk their lives fighting for such stuff. But I salved myself with the hope that by leading these Arabs madly in the final victory, I would establish them, with arms in their hands, in a position so assured, if not dominant, that expediency would counsel to the great powers a fair settlement of their claims. It was an immodest presumption. I risked the fraud on my conviction that Arab help was necessary to our cheap and speedy victory in the East, and better we win and break our word than lose.
In conclusion, Lawrence, along with the British, put an end to the last Islamic empire using greed and lies. The Muslims have been divided ever since, as we have adopted this Western ideology of nationalism. We can only hope and pray that we will be united again soon and break away from the current state that the Ummah is in.
Wow. That's a really interesting story because basically we did videos talking about it a little bit where we talked about basically Palestine and how it came to be in the modern day age and really the issues that lie within that and how it was created and why people are so frustrated with what is going on in Palestine right now, because you have so many people that believed, that trusted the British government, that trusted them that, hey guys, this is going to be an Arab state. We're going to be able to control our own land. And they just gave it away essentially. And at the same time, they lied to the people and people died believing in something that was false. And I believe that that is truly the most heartbreaking aspect of it. I mean, it truly is just thinking about it. People dying, risking their life to their last breath. They believe that they're fighting for their people. They're fighting for their country. They're fighting for their land. They're fighting for something that their children can be proud of, only to be betrayed, backstabbed, and lied to. I mean, this is really deep, and it really gets just, I don't know, it makes me sad thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah, excuse me. I really am glad that we've been learning more about the history little by little, and I think everyone really should learn the history. There's a lot to it, you know, a lot of things that were said that were going to happen that weren't, and the involvement with the British. I mean, once you realize what really happened, you realize what really happened, right? And it's absolutely not right. So this was an informative video, and it's funny because if you don't look into the history of it, you might not even realize the British government involvement, et cetera. I mean, I actually did not know. So it's really good to keep up with these things, and I'm glad that we're learning as well.
Yeah, guys, you have to learn about history, and that's why we're trying to spread this kind of stuff on our channel so that people can be aware and know about it, because number one, history is interesting, and you have to know history, otherwise it's going to repeat itself. So let us know what you guys think about that video. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing the video, guys. It means so much to us, and thank you to everybody who donates. Every single penny counts, guys. We love you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.